It used to be that it was hard to walk down the street without someone recognizing me. And that was initially because I was on Who's the Boss. And then it was he was on Who's the Boss and he's gay. And now it was going to be he was on Who's the Boss, he's gay, and he's another one of those HIV positive guys. And so that was a little bit terrifying, but it didn't really make me second guess it because uh, I'm much happier as a person with no secrets. I was living in New York City at the time, and I had just bought an apartment on West 12th Street. I was so proud of myself living on my own. And I started getting into meth and doing all of that nastiness, which was that's a whole other story. But I met someone through that who ended up giving me the HIV. I had no idea. Back then, it was still a very big deal to tell that to people. We were barely advancing in terms of medications and barely advancing in terms of our thought process on your future. And, especially for these people in my life who had no context, it was very scary. So to be able to tell them in person was really great.
What is the secret?
I wanted to tell you this a long time ago, but I wasn't ready.
You weren't ready.
I'm ready now. That I'm HIV positive.
And for a few years, it felt a little bit like coming out with that information was for me and not for anyone else. Like it would be satisfying for me alone. And I finally got to a place in life where I was happily married and doing really well and things were great. There was no need for me to tell anyone. It wasn't going to help my career, hinder my career. It didn't make any difference when it came to those things. Oprah contacted me, not Oprah, but her people contacted me to be on that show, but just to do a Where Are They Now? And so I thought, wow, I can't pass up this opportunity to tell Oprah about being HIV positive. So it really I called them back and I said, well, I'd love to talk about that, but I've also got something else that I might want to talk to you about. There were so many things that outweighed the fear that I was comfortable. But I'll tell you, ask anybody who was at the Oprah interview, like that half hour before the interview, I was on the verge of vomit, tears, sweating. It was a moment. And even Oprah noticed, and she said, just take a deep breath. You'll be fine. This is going to be really monumental. And, she was great. And before the interview, she said, what are your goals? And I told her the few goals, and she said, okay, we can do that. So I don't think there's anyone else who I could have told and who would have treated it as importantly and as respectfully as she did, for sure.
You've spent so much time terrified that you're gonna get it, and then you have it. You don't have to be terrified anymore.
Overall, the response was wonderful. And even from that journalist circle of people, the sort of, bravery, you're brave for doing it, and it's great that you're coming out and talking about it. All of that was nothing but positive. So I'm happy about that for sure. And because it was muddy, I have mixed feelings about it overall. And I just yesterday said to my publicist, God, because I don't really do much now in terms of press for Who's the Boss for any aspect of my life. I have too much going on here in Austin, and I thought, God, do people really want to hear more about that? And he said, I know where this is coming from. It has to do with sort of talking about it more and the fear of people muddying the waters even further. And he said, but you just have to remember the sheer number of people who you had to have helped. And even if you haven't heard from him, even if you're not getting endless letters from people saying, thank you for helping me through this, they're out there, and you just have to remember that. So I've been trying to do that. It's really, it's great, and it feels great to be that. As with everything, I think when you're in that moment, there is no future. And everyone, whatever the topic, can look back 10 years and say, gosh, I've come so far, or we've come so far, or society has come so far, or science has come so far. And that would be, I think, the number one thing to say is, just relax and take a deep breath. In 10 years from now, you're going to be married, undetectable, very healthy and very happy, and living life to the fullest, and I think that's not unique to me. That's unique to anyone who has a secret that they're going to share or an issue that they're trying to deal with. It's always going to be better, especially if you believe that, and especially if you do the work to get there. I've come so far in so many ways. If there's one thing I wish I could be better at, is just sort of remembering the impact I've had on people. It's nice to remember that, feel good about it, and feel like it's all worth it, for sure.